Well, hello cyber students, this is case 5 and this is our guidance. So, we are going to use a new data file, census 2010, and we are going to use the VLOOKUP function to give each county a category of small, medium, or large over here. And so the way we're going to do this is we are going to be Excel 2010, and we are going to do something like size here, and we will do population, description, and we need to widen this a little bit, column width 12. Okay, so the lower bound for zero, for an error, is 0. Sometimes counties amalgamate or disappear or merge or something like that. So they have a 0 in one census, but they had real numbers in another census. These are the lower bounds for error, small, medium, and large. And we want these words over here. Let's make this nice and bold. And here we go. Size equals VLOOKUP. V is for vertical. VLOOKUP. What do I want to look up? I want to look here in E2. Then I want to go over to this table over here, which is H2 to I5. And when you find the E2 value, give me the, whatever you see in the second column here, the two columns, give me the second column. And we're going to add the word Peru. And what that means is you don't have to find an exact match here. And when you don't find an exact match, go for the first number that is lower. So 54,000, the first number that is lower is 50,000. Lower. But of the 27,000, the one that is lower is 15,000. So these are the lower bounds, and it's going to choose the right one for us. It chose large, and we're good. Oops. I forgot to do something. I need to go back. When I copy down, as I did by mistake, it looks at this range and it also copies this range down, and this is blank, so that's why it's confused. I need to say stick to H2 to I5, and we'll do F4 makes it $H $2, F4 makes us $I $5, and we'll go enter. It doesn't change it here because it's looking at the right place, but down. And now we're good to go. 11,000 is small. That is medium, and that is indeed large. I need to see that it copied down to the end, and the way I copied it down to the end was I went for that plus sign, and when you see the plus sign, a swift left, a double click, and it copies all the way down. I need to go check that I've gone all the way down. Home and home. We did go all the way down. There are 3,143 counties. Plus a header row, that's why I get over there. And indeed, this is the answer, because I want the first 15 rows of results. So go up to row 16. That there is the correct answer, all the way to row 16 for part 1. You see the blurred clue. The blurred clue refers to the 2000 census, but you were told to the 2010 census, and these are the 2010 numbers. This is the answer for 1. A neat table showing how many of these, and those we have. I need to add up how many of each I have, and we don't want to do that manually. So we will go Insert, Pivot Table. It's looking at the right range. Okay. Now I wanted to count how many small, large, mediums I have and the like. I need to take this. This is where it is. Drag it down to rows, take this, drag it down to values, and it automatically knew that it couldn't sum them, but it's going to count them, and it's counted them there. And so this is the table that I want, but in that table you need to do error as well, say that there are 0 errors, because I asked how many errors you counted. So add a row for errors, send that to a nice words table with headings, not row labels or count of size. What you have there is description and the like. Make a nice neat table, and number 2 is good to go. Now a histogram. You would recall from one of our readings they spoke about things that we should be able to do, and then specifically talked about histograms. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adapt this, because what I need to do is I need 10 intervals, and I need to count how many of each I have in each of the 10 intervals. I won't upset this apple cart. I'm just going to make a copy, create a copy, OK. And now I'll just work in this copy, and I don't want that size anymore, so how about we just do a clear contents. And what we are going to do is we'll call the strata number. And I need to adjust this here. The lower bound for the first interval is 0. The lower bound for the second interval is 50,000. The lower bound for the third one is 100,000, but I can actually calculate that. Plus 50,000. And we'll drag this down all the way to there, I think. Let's see what we get. Yes. And this is going to be strata number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I have the lower bound for strata number 1, lower bound for strata number 2, 3, 4, and the like. I can go back here and use VLOOKUP again, equals VLOOKUP. Not lookup, oh, just lookup. Go and look in E2. Then go and look in the table, which is here, and give me, that's the strata count. Give me the strata name. Give me the strata name, which is in the second column. And since you're not going to get exact matches, we want you to, when you don't get an exact match, go for the number that is just lower. So 54,000, this is just lower, and this is the lower bound of the second strata. This is the lower bound of the fourth strata. We'll do OK. But now I'm not going to be so hasty to copy down. I need to go $H, $2, $I, $12, and we'll do enter. And so now when it copies down, it keeps looking at this table over here. Got the plus sign. When I got the plus sign, I went for the swift left double click, and it copied down. It has put this in strata 11 because this is this 500,000 is the number that is just lower than this, and these are all the numbers that exceed 500,000. But I said ignore the counties with populations above 500,000, so we are not going to graph this. But I don't like this. Seems we need to count how many there are in each strata now. So far so good. I need to count how many in each strata, and I just did that before. We'll do insert. Watch where my cursor is. My cursor can be anywhere over here, just not there. Insert pivot table. It's got the right data. And what I want is strata down here. And what it's going to do, it is going to want to sum it, but I don't want the sum, I want the count. So we'll have to do a little change there. It indeed wanted to do the sum. And I need to do this little arrow, and I need to value field settings. I need to count. Count is good. And now I have the count. Now I want to graph this, and trying to graph it in here is going to be a bit messy. I'm going to copy this out. I'm going to say equals A4. Watch, I'm typing equals A4. And watch, I'm typing here equal B4. If you go equals and you point in there, it gets messy. So I've typed the formulas out, and there we go. I don't care about 11 because we said ignore that. So we go clear contents. Now we're going to put the lower bounds in here, and I can simply go here and get the lower bounds. There they are. Copy. Paste. And be careful, I have a formula in there. I don't let me go do a copy, paste values, which is that one. And now I have values here. Now I just need to graph this and do my histogram. So this is actually what I want to graph. I'm going to go insert a column, and we just want the simple one here. And I'm almost good. Over here, I don't want 1 to 10. I want these lower bounds here. So I can go here, select data, and I want to edit, and I want these down below. We'll do OK. And we'll do OK. Now I have the lower bounds here. I have the counts over here. I'm going to move this to its own page, move chart to a new sheet. Suppose we can just call this part to _3. Okay. And this chart's a little bit too big, so we will bring it down to size. There we go. And now I have the counts over here. I have the lower bounds over here, but I have no title and no axis labels. So what we can do is we need to put in a title and axis labels. I believe you can go here with a plus sign and go axis titles. Over there, we can do chart title over here. And where did that little where did that plus sign go to? There we go. Let's just do the axis titles. Okay, it's in there. We just have generic titles here. And here for chart title, we can go histogram of population counts. There we go, but this looks a little bland, so I think what we need to do is make it a little bigger, not too big. It's up to 16, make it a little bolder, and this looks pretty nice over here. Over here, put in the correct titles. This is the lower bound, and this is the count. And then soup it up, make it a little bigger. It's too small over there. Then do a screenshot, and we're good to go. So, by the way, histograms are described in our book. The first place that they are described in is on page 67, and it's one of our high-level overview tests. And we will also do histograms later on in the book, and you can just look in the index in the back, and you'll see, not many, but you'll see a number of histogram references. So that's all for case 5, and for me, it's bye-bye.